Let's do it. So I went and saw Aladdin today, and what did I think of it? Well, anyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge Aladdin fan. It's my favorite Disney movie. I've seen every iteration of it. I've seen the screenplay of it. I've seen the stage play. I have seen the animated movie countless times. I have seen the TV series. I've seen all the different sequels that have come up from it. Like, I know Aladdin inside and out. I've even seen some other adaptations outside of Disney. I've seen A Kid in Aladdin's Court, which is not a good movie, or whatever that movie's called. I have seen a couple cartoon versions of it. I've seen like stories that are based around it, the Arabian Nights stories. I know a lot about Aladdin, and this is Disney's second attempt at the original story that they kind of established back in the early 90s. I forget the exact year. So what did I think about it? Well, it's good. I think it's very good. I think that it really capitalizes on, it capitalizes on a lot of like nostalgia feels, but here's what it does that Beauty and the Beast didn't do, is that it took a lot of things that were in the original, it put in there, but it actually made it its own story, which is something Beauty and the Beast didn't do. This one made it its own story. Now, some other things I like about it. Well, the costumes, the set pieces, it was very colorful, very big. It was very beautiful to look at. It was a spectacle, which is what I expected from a movie like this. I expected it to be very bold. I expected it to be very bright. The cinematography was very entertaining to look at, and some other things. I thought all the actors were fine. I thought Will Smith as the genie was fine. He didn't try to do Robin Williams, and that's all I could really ask for him, is that he doesn't try to redo Robin Williams. Robin Williams did his own thing, and Will Smith took this role and made it his own thing. And that's all I can ask from them. Another controversy that kind of spawned up from this that I saw in the comments on Facebook posts was Naomi Scott, because she's not Middle Eastern. Well, she's a great actress. She can sing pretty well. I've seen her sing several times in Lemonade Mouth, the Disney Channel movie. She was fine in that. She has a tan complexion, and she did a fine job as Jasmine. I don't really have anything against that. I thought the actor that played Aladdin was fine. Granted, I don't know his name, and if I try to say it, I'd probably butcher it. I thought he was great, even though he looked like a grown-up version of Rico from Hannah Montana. But what else did I like? There were several other things. I thought that the guy that played Jafar was fine. I thought he was good. Granted, he's not as menacing looking as it is in the animation, but that's kind of hard to compete against, considering you can just draw someone, make them look menacing, whereas you have a real-life actor. But the thing that this movie did better in this one than it did in the original is that this one, the new one in 2019, Jafar actually looks like someone you could trust. Whereas in the animation one, you look at him and you're like, he dresses in all black, looks menacing, looks like a villain, and you trust him somehow? Now, here are the bad things. The CGI, whoo boy. CGI is bad. It's really bad. And this is Disney. This is Disney we're talking about. Disney has like a literal endless supply of money, and they couldn't make the CGI better. Now, granted, it's not as bad on the genie, but when Aladdin is trying to sneak into the palace, it looks like Spider-Man Peter Parker jumping across the rooftop's bad. Like, it looks rubbery and so out of place. But really, that's all I have to say when it comes to the bad stuff. I thought the movie was fine. It's not as good as the animation version, but can you really expect it to be as good as that one? They weren't trying to outdo the original. They were trying to just make it their own. And all the songs were good. I was humming along. I was tapping my foot to everything. Alan Menken still did the score to this movie. He did, obviously all the song lyrics were by Alan Menken, and Alan Menken is like a god when it comes to Disney songs. But really, this movie's fine. I don't really see why people would complain about it. I thought the Rotten Tomatoes score was extremely harsh. Only a little bit over 50%, really? It's not freaking Citizen Kane, but it's not also 50 Shades of Grey. I don't get why it got such a low rating. Because I thought this movie was fine, and this is coming from someone who loves Aladdin and knows all the songs inside and out, and and basically it's my favorite Disney movie. So I don't see why this really got as bad of a review as it did. And I'm not saying a 58% or whatever is bad, but it's a lot lower than something I'd expect from this kind of a movie. Anyway, in the end, I give this movie a 7 out of 10. I thought it was fine. It was very entertaining. It also sets itself up for a sequel, which I can get behind. I like Return of Jafar. It's going to be really interesting to see if they do a sequel, kind of where they go with the story. Because in the sequel, in the movie, even though it's directed to video, you can kind of tell because the animation is nowhere near as good. But in the sequel, Iago is a main character, and it centers around him. And in this movie, Iago's not much of a character. He's more of a bird that just happens to know how to talk. Whereas in the original, he is his own character. But anyway, 7 out of 10. Bring your kids. Bring your boyfriend or girlfriend. If you're looking for a good time that you can sing along to, this movie is just fine. And see ya!